Hello everyone, it is October 30th. It is day 5 of my trip to the UK. Today I'm in Southport staying with the Worgan family who have decided to treat me to breakfast this morning. An all-you-can-eat breakfast affair with all of the ingredients for a full English breakfast. So of course I had to have that again. They had sausage and tomato, instead of a fried egg, scrambled eggs, but bacon, hash browns, beans, as well as croissants and pain au chocolat, which is so good. It's a really puff pastry-like bread with chocolate inside. So good. I fell in love with it during my trip in the UK. It was incredible. As well as crumpets, which have a ton of holes in them for the butter to soak into. It is incredible. And I also tried some black pudding, which was quite interesting. All right, I'm gonna try some black pudding. It had a lot of an iron taste to it. That would probably be the blood, and tasted of, for lack of a better word, meaty organs. I did not like the taste. Savory, salty, tastes like a mushroomy burger. It's not something I'd really want to eat a lot of, but I'm gonna try it with the brown sauce. And the HP sauce didn't help. It was like barbecue sauce, but with none of the sweetness and vinegar instead. It wasn't for me, oh my gosh. I don't think I'm a fan. And I also get to try Marmite on toast. And that was super, super salty. And in all the wrong ways. A little yeasty.
Love it or hate it, Alex.
Oh my. Oh. And I like salty things, but you really need to go light. That is so salty. Wow. Wow, that has a kick to it. Next, Yvonne and Hannah drove me to Bygone Times in Eccleston, which I like to think is named after Christopher, but I'm not sure that's how it goes. I mean, a place named after the Ninth Doctor can't be all bad, right? Today was the first time I got to ride on the wrong side of the road, at least for an American. It was confusing and sometimes scary, but also kind of fun as well. I also get to see British architecture, and Yvonne knew a lot about the local architecture, which was really cool.
Well, this style here is just after the war, 1946 style. And they were the council houses. This is like 1980s, 1990s style house there, a more modern one. This was probably 1400s, the stone cottages. That's a redone one of the new stone cottages.
We arrive at Bygone Times, big like antique store, but also a collectibles store. The main entrance was incredible. It had this car on the front there, bright yellow car there, and the entryway, planes hanging down. It was quite the experience. They had some candy in the entryway. Mark Worgan had written up a list of items to find at Bygone Times, and the person who found the most items and took pictures of them would win the challenge. It was Yvonne and me against Hannah. I started out trying to find the items on the list, but I got distracted by Doctor Who merchandise when I saw it, and shopping for Doctor Who merchandise was my top priority today. Certain items were Doctor Who themed on this treasure hunt, certain things weren't, certain things were things that looked like Doctor Who costumes or stuff. I saw something that might qualify as Katie Manning's jacket. We were looking around, there's these vinyls, and there was this cool vintage red telephone box and some tins that were very cool. There was a bunny rabbit that might have been one of the items on the treasure hunt list. So we took photographs of different things that might have qualified on the list. But for the most part, I was keeping my eyes peeled for anything and everything Doctor Who. That's a fancy Dalek that has that for a plunger. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Oh, wow. I've got to get that. Such a good price, something like £2.50. There was a Shaun the Sheep stuffed toy. I found Rebecca's World by Terry Nation, along with some Doctor Who Mr. Men books, and the Doctor Who The Vault hardcover, which was very exciting. A Regeneration digibook, the Darksmith Legacy, the Doctor's Who's Who paperback. There was even a Redwall book, which I absolutely loved that series growing up. And then we come to this booth that has a lot of Doctor Who action figures in it, some Marvel. There was a Stormtrooper there, a lot of Star Wars memorabilia there. But I was interested in the Doctor Who stuff. There was a remote-controlled K9, the 1978 and 1979 Doctor Who annuals, radio-controlled Daleks and K9, remote-controlled R2-D2, Planet of the Apes action figures, what looked like a Jedi animal of some sort. A Planet of the Apes lunchbox, the making of a television series, cool hats, a Star Trek calendar, some Doctor Who and Torchwood DVDs. There was a stuffed toy sloth hanging from a chandelier. Anytime I saw an instrument, I thought of my brother, and I didn't know if it was a good instrument or a good price, but I always tried to get a shot of each one so that he could see when I got back. There was a whole room with arcade-style games, which was some of them very creepy looking and some of them very cool. Big Rubik's Cube. There was some Indiana Jones stuff. And a very cool CD holder. Oh, that's beautiful. It's a CD holder shaped like a cello. But I did spot a magnet that was a red telephone box, and I was like, I want to get this. There was a lone Doctor Who book made of steel by Terrence Dicks. There were a couple of jackets that I thought might be items on our list. There was the Doctor Who Complete First Series for £2. Had to get for that price. Are you kidding me? There was some Star Trek and X-Files VHS tapes, which looked very, very cool. Then we found a really cool Doctor Who section that had a Doctor Who, a metal TARDIS sign that I fell in love with. I had to get. It was made in the UK. I'd never seen anything like it before. And this stall also had, there were Doctor Who book box sets, lots of new series book releases, some Doctor Who files, Doctor Who Annual. And then I found this incredible 3-walled stall full of exclusively Doctor Who merchandise. I was in heaven. Oh my gosh, it was called Mr. Popplewick's Collectibles, and it was incredible. There were so many Doctor Who items ranging from the very common to the downright rare, from super low prices to absolutely expensive ones. I could not believe it. I filled up my handbasket with Doctor Who merchandise because it was so cheap. Oh my gosh. And I asked Yvonne and Hannah for another handbasket, and they come back with a full-on shopping trolley. Like, it was a full cart, and I needed it because there was so much Doctor Who stuff. And there was another stall that had a bunch of Doctor Who VHSs in it. Like, almost the whole VHS collection was there. Found another section as well that had some more Doctor Who stuff, some more books and figures and merchandise there. But really it was at Mr. Popplewick's that I got the most stuff possible because it was all so cheap. Here you can see me pushing my cart of Doctor Who merchandise. It was a whole box of Doctor Who merchandise for maybe $60. Look, this whole box full of merchandise. Inside this enormous box of Doctor Who goodies, I got Doctor Who The Sunmakers UK VHS for £4, The Invisible Enemy UK VHS also for £4, An Unearthly Child, the UK VHS, again for £4, the Forever Autumn paperback book for just £1, as well as this 3-book Doctor Who box set for £6, the UK TV movie 8th Doctor VHS, because this was never released on VHS in the US, was only £3. And I also got a different release of An Unearthly Child on VHS as well for £3. So another book collection. This one was £6 again. They also had UK new series DVDs for only 20 pence each. That's 5 for £1. This is Series 1, Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4 on DVD. There was also Series 2, Volume 1, 2, 4, and 5, and I also got Series 3, Volume 1, 3, and 4, Series 4, Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4, Series 5, Volume 1, 2, and 4, The End of Time Part 1 and Part 2 DVD files release, the Complete First Series UK Region 2 box set for just £2, The Complete History Volume 26 for just £5. Then there was a 9th Doctor comic for £2, and a 10th Doctor comic for another £2. I also had to get the Doctor Who 1978 annual, only £6, and there was this really cool TARDIS metal wall sign. This was £12, but I was just so taken by it. And there was this special anniversary edition Doctor Who puzzle, which I wanted to get for just £4. And this red telephone booth magnet, it was about £2. And there was the Doctor Who stories. This is such a cool release. This is what the book on the inside looked like, and this was only £3.50. On the way back, I tried a Freddo chocolate and a Cadbury's fudge stick, which were both very, very tasty.
That's really nice.
Chocolate in the UK does taste different, and I would dare say better than it does in the US. You can eat more of it, is my experience, than you can in the US. Then we drove to Southport. We went to Market Quarter, got to see these incredible buildings on Market Street. We were hoping to go to Merseyside Collectibles, but it was closed. You gotta watch out for autons here. But the Royal Arcade was open. I spotted some Doctor Who coasters, some adorable dog statues, and Mark and I found these Doctor Who annuals.
Be a good price, or
£1.50?
yeah, it's a very good price. Way below retail. First revival annual. That is worth getting.
Yeah. I got 5 in the end for £7.50. That was incredible. There was also a 7 of 9 VHS collection, which I'd never seen before. There was a lot of cool stuff here. It was so much fun to look around and spot Doctor Who stuff, which we never do in the US. Like, I've been to so many antique stores in the US. Maybe 1 out of 10 that you spot something Doctor Who. Like the Time Traveler's Almanac, just sitting on a table, and the 2008 annual. Then we found some display cases with a Cyberman head in them, a TARDIS, some B&M action figures, a 21-inch Dalek for £145. That's a lot of money right there. Some more Doctor Who action figures, bunch of them just all in these cases, which was so cool. Some more Doctor Who action figures up here, £5 each. I spotted some Winnie the Pooh stuff and some Wallace and Gromit stuff on display. There was a Wind in the Willows plate, a Lord of the Rings, Gandalf, some Doctor Who playing cards, and the Series 1 to 4 set. There was even an old-fashioned light, like the one you see on top of the TARDIS. So this is about the right size.
It's exactly the right size.
For...
In fact, the Matt Smith one uses a similar casing.
That's so cool. 185. There was a Star Trek kit from back in the day, the Doctor Who Encyclopedia, and another Doctor Who's Who, the Creatures and Demons, Monsters and Villains, Aliens and Enemies books that I do have in my collection, but it was cool to see them still sealed. This is the flight controlled TARDIS and figures. This has the 10th Doctor and Martha. And then the Worgans took me to an Asda so that I could get some British candy to try, as well as Jammy Dodgers, Jelly Babies, Fish Fingers, and Custard. So I'd never been in a Asda before. They had a snowman variety of Jelly Babies. Like, that's so cool. So I had to get those to try. And then we came home and I got to film a video showcasing some rare items and props in Mark's collection. And he even had a Cyberman head that I could wear for the intro of my video. And I got to film the whole thing in their living room where there's a Dalek that Mark built himself. And it looks incredible. It was so cool to wear that Cyberman outfit. After we filmed that video, they insisted that I go and meet the puppies. Myrtle's sister Poppy had recently had a litter who have all since now found loving homes, but when I met them were up for adoption and were known only by the colors of their collars, which was so cute. We did a puppy photo shoot, like getting them to look at the camera or in the rough direction of the camera was a whole job in and of itself. So it was more about whether or not the dogs look good in the photos rather than me. They were so cute, so young. Then we came home and watched The Impossible Planet and The Satan Pit, because those were 2 Doctor Who episodes that I had never seen up until that point. I know, right? A Doctor Who episode that I haven't seen. They were very, very good, and it was really cool to watch a Doctor Who episode that was new to me in the UK. And then it was time to get ready for bed and prepare for the next day, where we were going to go to Doctor Who filming locations in Liverpool.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Doctor Who Guide YouTube channel. You know it makes sense.